Hello, all of you beautiful people! Welcome to another episode of Badman Reviews. And this week, we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is just around the corner. Actually, it's probably coming out the day I release this video, or the day after. Who knows? But, let's put it this way. I wanted to make a video about fan-made Kingdom Hearts games, and sadly, there wasn't enough of them. So, let's talk about some cut content instead for some fantastic Kingdom Hearts games. So let's jump right into it. To start off our journey, we must go back. Far back. 17 years ago to be exact, to the start of this crazy adventure, Kingdom Hearts 1. When things weren't as complicated as they are now, just a boy on an island with some friends. Starting off, let's look at two areas that were never used in the game's release. First, we have an area called Crumbling Island. It has a very interesting look to it. Seems like you're in a cave that's falling apart, surrounded by trees and other objects. I can assume this would have taken place while the island was falling into darkness, but at the same time, none of the textures seem to match very well, so it's hard to tell. The other area was seen in the game's beta trailer, but for some reason was never included in the final version of the game, called Disney Castle, which for any fan of the series would sound familiar since we would be able to explore this area in later games, but getting to see it as it would have looked in the first game is actually really interesting, and I love how it looks from the footage I can see. Something you can actually try for yourself is the hard drive feature for Kingdom Hearts. Truthfully, I'm not 100% sure how to describe this, but I'll try my best. It seems like the Japanese version of the game had a feature that allowed you to install the game to a compatible hard drive to speed up load times for the game, but the feature was so unknown in America that they didn't transfer it over when they regionalized it to its fullest. So, it still has the menus in it, but it was never translated and a lot of the characters are just garbage, so it's probably close to impossible to use, hence why I can't find or show any footage of this content here. The last thing of interest from the first game is a summon known as Bahamut. Yeah, you can even see the name in the menu using some hacks, but sadly if you try to click on it, it will crash your game, so I would have to say maybe you shouldn't bother trying that. Moving forward in time, next up is Kingdom Hearts 2, which has some pretty neat stuff. Atlantica, for example, only has the default command box texture, because there's no actual fighting in Atlantica. But there actually is a unique command box for that area, but I wasn't able to find any footage of it online, sadly. There are also two weapons in the game called Detection Saber and Edge of Ultima. Both look very close to the actual Ultima Keyblade in the game, just with less textures and the Detection Saber being a bit longer. But more interesting is that there are also two weapons called Staff of Detection and Detection's Shield, meaning that Donald and Goofy may have been able to get Ultima weapons as well at some point during development before deciding that they were to be removed. Organization 13 are optional bosses in the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts 2. But it seems like they were planned to be in the original version of the game as well, but were cut due to time constraints, since you can find fully textured models of them and their weapons hidden in the game's files. Along with them, we can also see a young version of Riku in Organization robes, a Mushroom 13, a model for a Roxas boss fight, and lastly, a summon for Woody and Buzz Lightyear. There are two songs that can never be heard in the game, and one of them seems to be a version of Eye-Catching from Final Fantasy IX that probably would have played when meeting Vivi as Sora. And there's also a more orchestral version of the Twilight Town theme song. Now that we have the two main series games out of the way, let's move on to some of the side games, starting off with Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days and Recoded. For both of these games, there isn't too much cool stuff to show off, but 358 over 2 days has some unused character portraits for Pinocchio's world that was never put into the full version of the game. There is Geppetto, a human version of Pinocchio, plus the villains Honest John and Gideon. Hades and Megara also have sprites but never appear in the Colosseum, so we never get to see theirs. And Tinkerbell never talks, so her sprite also goes unused in the final release of the game. Recoded also has the same type of sprites as 358 over 2 days, but its files are never used since Recoded ended up using full body portraits for text chat in the game instead. The last game to cover is Birth by Sleep, which actually has a decent amount of cool things to look into. A pretty big discovery is that there's an unfinished level for Jungle Book, which you can see in this footage being shown that shows off a bunch of different rooms to explore. Alongside this, there are also 2 more maps that I can't find footage of. One for Sword in the Stone, which I think would have been a really cool world idea, and one that's just called Mysterious Wasteland. 2 Keyblades for Ventus can also be found in the Japanese version of the game called M Light Seekers and XX, but neither have textures or images attached to them. One thing not many people would know is that Birth by Sleep was originally planned to be released on the PS2, but Chain of Memories ended up making the PS2 cut while Birth by Sleep was pushed back to the PSP. Remnants of this can be found in this very well-rendered version of Aqua, and even this untextured version of Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch. The last thing I don't really have time to show off, so I'll link them in the description below, but a huge chunk of songs from older Kingdom Hearts games are included on the Birth by Sleep disc, and they're played with Birth by Sleep instruments, but are never actually called upon while playing the game. I've played a few while I've been talking about Birth by Sleep, and if you want to hear more, you can check the description. And that is everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all enjoy your time playing Kingdom Hearts 3 because I know I am going to be loving it. And if you're interested, come on over to my channel, my Twitch channel, because I will be streaming Kingdom Hearts 3 the second it comes out. I believe it comes out at midnight here where I live, so I'll be playing it at midnight, but go ahead on Twitch and follow me, and when you see me playing Kingdom Hearts, I'll be playing it. I'll probably be playing it for the next couple days after it releases, so feel free to drop on in, say hi. I would love to talk to all of you, because you're all beautiful. Alright, until then, I hope you have a good time, and I'll see you all in the next video.